When she first arrived, she immediately began targeting Jacob Gallagher, making it her goal to intimidate him psychologically and keep him under constant pressure. She deliberately found harsher ways to make his working life unbearable, and eventually moved into the village so she could continue tormenting him outside the workplace as well. Just when Jacob appeared ready to finally bring Todd's campaign of intimidation to an end, the manipulative doctor uncovered a devastating secret. She discovered that the baby Charity Dingle had recently given birth to was not actually the implanted embryo belonging to Jacob and Sarah Sugden, but was instead the biological child of Charity and Ross Barton following their one-night stand. At first, Todd exploited the revelation to force Charity into persuading Jacob to withdraw his HR complaint over the harassment. However, the situation soon developed into an even more serious blackmail scheme. Todd demanded a substantial amount of money, while Charity, desperate to protect the truth surrounding baby Layla's parentage, did everything possible to meet her demands. Under the enormous strain, Charity attempted to raise the money by selling her share of the wool pack to Kim Tate. When that plan collapsed, she joined forces with Chas Dingle in an attempt to steal money from Home Farm. Despite her desperate efforts, Charity was unable to gather the entire sum Todd wanted. When Todd threatened to expose the truth during Sarah's 21st birthday celebrations, Charity eventually reached breaking point and challenged her to reveal the secret. After Charity called her bluff, Todd ultimately decided not to expose the truth and continued keeping quiet. However, with her influence slipping away and her professional authority under threat, Todd resorted to an even more horrific act when she sexually assaulted a drunken Charity. Following the assault, Charity completely fell apart. She attempted to disguise her deteriorating mental health by claiming she was suffering from postnatal depression. However, the growing concern and pressure from Sarah and Mac only made matters worse, eventually driving her to leave the village. While away, Charity found comfort in an unexpected person, Serena Sugden. For the first time, she was able to open up completely, telling Serena the truth about Layla's parentage and describing the terrible ordeal Todd had put her through. Charity later found the courage to tell Mac and her former girlfriend, Vanessa Woodfield, what had happened. She also went to the police to report Todd, but her attempt to seek justice ended in disappointment when prosecutors decided not to bring charges because there was insufficient evidence. Matters became even more painful when the incident was legally categorized as sexual assault rather than rape because Charity is a woman. Charity then attended a support group, but found it difficult to connect with the other members, as everyone else there had been assaulted by men. This left her feeling even more isolated. When she learned that another of Todd's victims was too frightened to report her own rape to the police, Charity began to believe that there was little hope of justice. However, her determination had not disappeared completely. Although badly weakened, it remained inside her. Returning to the support group marked Charity's first cautious move towards rebuilding her life and taking back the control Todd had attempted to take from her. This week, however, Todd makes another attempt to undermine Charity when she suddenly enters her home, putting the two women face to face once again. Although Charity orders Todd to leave, the doctor responds with a disturbing remark about missing Charity's supposed passion. When Charity desperately reaches for her phone to call for assistance, Todd grabs it first. She then accuses Charity of telling filthy lies about her and insists that the two of them need to settle the matter. With Todd's story seemingly approaching its final chapter, could this confrontation finally see her pay the price for everything she has done to Charity? And could Charity herself be the one who finally stops Todd? Or will the person secretly listening to their confrontation take action first? Lewis left heartbroken in Emmerdale as Kev's hidden secrets threaten to surface. Kev is an incredibly entertaining character, combining sharp comic timing with a strong dramatic side. Beneath the humor is a complicated and damaged man who has made plenty of mistakes but still wants the opportunity to turn his life around. His complicated relationship with his prison husband, Robert Sugden, often brought out the more troubled aspects of his personality. However, his developing bond with his son, Lewis Barton, has revealed a much warmer and more optimistic side of the former armed robber, who is now working in a cafe. Their relationship has certainly faced its share of difficulties, with the new father and son pairing encountering several obstacles as they attempt to grow closer. Even so, those challenges have only made viewers more invested in their connection. Lewis has also spoken warmly about his scenes with his father, expressing excitement about what lies ahead for the pair. He praised the on-screen partnership, suggesting that plenty of entertaining and memorable moments are still on the way. He also acknowledged how positively viewers have reacted to their relationship, describing the father and son scenes as a welcome source of humor during some of the show's heavier storylines. However, the fun may soon take a back seat. According to Lewis, things are about to become considerably more serious, particularly as Caleb and Ruby Milligan appear determined to pull Kev back towards his old criminal lifestyle. Lewis would be deeply hurt if Kev returned to his former ways. His father has been insisting that he has changed and wants to become a better person for his son. So discovering that he has been hiding criminal activities would leave Lewis devastated. Although secrets rarely remain hidden forever, Lewis may potentially overlook some of Kev's questionable dealings if they do not directly hurt anyone. Kev has plenty of experience when it comes to shady arrangements, meaning his son could possibly choose to ignore certain things. However, Lewis is strongly guided by his principles, so it would be difficult for him to simply accept his father returning to a life of crime. He believed their relationship represented a completely new beginning, making any betrayal particularly painful. As for what viewers can expect, there are apparently plenty of emotional highs and lows ahead, along with arguments, drama, and even physical confrontations. Lewis may begin coming to terms with one difficult situation, only for another problem to emerge and send him straight back to where he started. In the weeks ahead, his bond with Kev is expected to strengthen as they face some particularly challenging circumstances together. Lewis initially believed that everything would finally fall into place, but he will soon discover that appearances can be misleading. The wider Barton family will also come together to support one another, creating some touching moments along the way. When it comes to the future of their relationship, Lewis may never completely understand what makes his father tick. Kev remains one of the most unpredictable people around, and that unpredictability is a major part of what makes him so entertaining. Even when everything appears to be settling down, something Lewis says could inspire Kev to take matters into his own hands. His intentions may come from a place of genuine love for his son, but Kev has a habit of taking things far too far. Lewis could easily find himself thinking that he should never have said anything after Kev decides to act on his words. Ultimately, that may simply be Kev being Kev. And despite all the chaos that lies ahead, Lewis could gradually learn to appreciate his father's unusual way of showing that he cares. Here's hoping the father and son duo can make it through whatever comes next. Emmerdale airs on weeknights at 8 p.m. on ITV1, with episodes available to stream from 7 a.m. on ITVX and YouTube.